A record-breaking number of women are running for political office this year. According to some women in the political trenches, the reasons run deep. And according to some researchers and lawmakers, the impact could be long-term. It all seems quite fitting as the centennial celebration is underway in New York for women's suffrage. Next week, leaders from around the state will gather in Rochester where Seneca Falls Revisited, a women's equality weekend. Joining me to explain the meaning behind this event and its intended impact is Deborah Hughes, Women's Equality Conference co-chair and president and CEO of the National Susan B. Anthony Museum and House, and Rachel de Guzman, president and CEO of 21st Century Arts. Welcome to both of you. Thank you for being here. So this is the first ever Women's Equality Conference in New York, happening in Rochester. Why is it happening, Deborah? Explain the purpose.
Well, the purpose is to bring women together across the board who have talent and influence in politics, in business, in arts, in their communities, because it's about time that we got organized and talked about the agenda that could really move our country forward in terms of social justice.
And the timing is interesting. So talk to me a little bit about, Rachel, why now? Some may say, why hasn't this happened years ago? Why is it so important that this is taking place right now?
I believe that it's because we're moving towards 2020 and 100 years of women's suffrage in the nation. And so I think that that's certainly a pivotal moment in time. But I also think that everything that's happening today and, you know, where all the progress we've made is certainly worth celebrating, but also looking forward to how to gain more equality in the future.
Absolutely. According to the Pew Research Center, about 74% of women who are Democrats or Democratic-leaning independents say the country has not gone far enough in terms of gender equality. And what's interesting is that's compared to 33% of women who are Republican or Republican leaners. And I want to know, how critical is it, regardless of party affiliation, for women to join forces, really to create, in so many words, a new legacy when it comes to gender equality in this country?
Well, I think one of the key pieces is around, we use the phrase bipartisan. This conference is not bipartisan, this is transpartisan. Because there are a lot of women who are engaged on issues, whether they're local issues or state issues or federal issues, who don't see themselves affiliated with any party and need to have a voice. And we need to come together and have those kinds of conversations. So this is intentionally not A, B, or A or B, it's everybody. And we want to hear, what are the issues that are critically important to people? How can we organize? How can we address those issues? Because we really think that's a vision for our state and for our country that goes beyond those separate parties.
And there's really an opportunity at this point to build on certainly the legacy of the initial Seneca Falls Convention and the subsequent one that happened in Rochester, and really have it be more intersectional this time, have it have more people represented and really look like a 21st century convention. And I think that that's an opportunity to really, and I see it really reflected in the programming, and that's one of the things that excited me when Sharon Nelson contacted me about being a part of this.
Let's talk about the conversations that will take place at this conference and kind of how they align with issues when it comes to women's equality, gender equality in our country. You know, research studies show there's this gap in people even recognizing the fact that there are gender inequality. Some people think that it's actually a myth. So talk a little bit about some of these conversations and why they're imperative to have right now. What's going to be happening?
Well, from my participation, one of the things that excited me was that certainly we're in this year of celebration of Frederick Douglass. And Frederick Douglass, being a feminist, was the first conversation that I had with Sharon Nelson. But then she started talking about, I mean, she recentered the conversation to him being a suffragette. And I guess that's the proper term. I learned something through that. But a couple years ago, I worked with Mara Ahmed and Amanda Chestnut, and we celebrated Frederick Douglass's 199th birthday. And Amanda Chestnut created this giveaway that had the motto there. And it's so significant that it said that, you know, the motto starts with right of no sex. And so when you consider what in the at the original conference, where he was the only black person, and you know, he really did have a pivotal role in helping some things be adopted in the conference, the declarations of sentiments here. But he the fact that he had such a progressive attitude at that particular time, when even black men were aspiring to be, to adopt a white man's relationship with women, more of a ownership and a paternalistic relationship, was so progressive, and it was just so inspiring to me, and really a mark of his progressiveness beyond abolition. And so I really liked that aspect of it, but also the fact that she wanted to celebrate radical Rochester women in the broadest sense, starting with Louise Slaughter. I thought that that was something that was very poignant, but I really wanted to have the opportunity to lift up Anna Marie Douglas as one of the radical Rochester women that's probably been forgotten. So from my perspective in the programming I'm doing, it really is centered on that, and it's so exciting to have that opportunity.
Yeah, I'm very excited about the panels that have been put together for the conference, because there's some excellent diversity represented, and we're going to be challenging people to really have deep and uncomfortable conversations around issues that are important to us. From the panel around race, from panel around women and violence, all of the different components of the program are really, one, I expect to learn things. I expect to hear from some perspectives that will be aha moments for me, where I'll say, oh, I need to shift what I thought was important here because of what I'm hearing from someone else. And I also think what we really need to be about is organizing and to really think about it. And I think that's the piece that's been missing politically and for the women's movement in some ways, is to really say, what are the things around social issues? And in some cases, it's not that we already have an answer. It's that we really need to be raising the right question. And we need to hear, today I was in a meeting where we were talking about the excitement for Rochester, about the senior PGA coming. But we also know that statistically, there's a human trafficking spike whenever that happens in our community. So the question is, okay, how could we as a community be on top of preventing situations that expose women and children dangerously because of that event happening in town? Well, those are the kinds of things we really want to be raising through this conference. And there's also lots of time to do yoga and relax and enjoy one another's company. So it's got to be.
There sure is. I've seen the roster. It looks like
food for the body, food for the soul.
Exactly.
And this whole idea of self-care for women, allowing themselves to be organizers, activists, and professionals, but also understanding that self-care is critical to their ability to do all those things, and it's not an indulgence. It's something that's critical to their ability to do something. I think that women have been so focused on how do we prove ourselves to be worthy of spaces that we want to occupy, that we really haven't considered that maybe we should be considering disrupting notions of how you occupy those spaces. And so I think women have a lot to bring to the table in redefining what it means to be professional activists and organizers.
And for women who are watching this program right now, and they would say, I see a storm in this country, and I want to have a leadership role to do something to help to organize and to be a part of this movement. But they may feel paralyzed because of some of their life circumstances, right? So they could be high school dropouts, college dropouts. They could be working 2 to 3 jobs as a head of the household, and they don't know how to get involved, but they want to. What types of options would you say are available so that they are part of this movement and really active in this conversation?
Well, that's why the workshops are so important on top of speakers speaking to people. The workshops are a way for people to engage. And I think back to Deborah's point about organizing and it being so critical. Organizing as opposed to producing means that these many voices actually are part of the, you can't really organize alone.
Right.
So it's about creating a collective voice that is inclusive, that has power beyond the individuals. And so I think those voices are stronger when you have multi-voices and multi-perspectives, because I think we've come to the point that at least most people recognize that to be a woman, to be a professional woman is not one thing. You're not coming from one perspective. You're not marrying just men, all of that. And so I think that we have an opportunity to convene and help just by being together and participating, redefine what it means to be an organized body of women moving towards equality.
When it's all said and done, how will you when you step back and look at the conference and what took place, what will have made it a success? Are there certain outcomes that you are anticipating that you want to make sure you see?
Well, speakers are coming from across New York State and across the country. So one significant outcome would be that if every woman leaves feeling like she's got a couple new relationships for somebody who knows something that she wants to know about, or makes a connection with somebody who's doing the work that she's interested in, that will be a huge outcome, because we're really building a national network of women who are committed to doing something and combining our talents. And to me, that would be the most important thing. If everyone walked away saying, I have a new relationship, that woman inspired me, that woman's energy was amazing, that woman called me out on something I needed to hear, then I think everyone should come away from the conference saying, I got changed this weekend.
We have to close, but first, a thank you to my guests for joining me and sharing more about this event focused on celebrating the centennial of women's suffrage through civic engagement. Now, the first ever Women's Equality Weekend is happening here in Rochester. It's starting on Thursday, August 23rd, and it runs through Sunday, August 26th. It's taking place at the Hyatt Regency. You can learn more. Go to CREWOMEN.org.